Hello, fellow classmates. This is my final presentation on my volunteer experience working with Caldwell County Homeless Coalition. In this presentation, I'll be covering the definitions of homelessness, an overview of the agency that I worked with, and how they assist our at-risk populations. I'll discuss some of the social problems that they address, the funding challenges that they incur, and lastly, we'll touch base on the amazing experience that I had working with them. To begin, it's important to understand that homelessness is defined in 4 different ways under the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development, or HUD. The first definition most of us are aware of. It's those who are literally homeless. This is individuals or families who do not have a fixed, regular, or adequate nighttime residence. This is the population that are living in places that are not meant for human habitation. The second definition are those who are at imminent risk of homelessness. These are individuals or families who are expected to lose their housing in the next 14 days and don't have the resources or support needed to secure another place to live. The third definition are those that are homeless under other federal statutes. This includes unaccompanied youth or families with children who are experiencing long-term housing instability or just unstable living conditions overall. The fourth definition includes individuals who are fleeing or attempting to flee a domestic violence or other dangerous situation and do not have housing available to them. Understanding these definitions is important because homelessness is much broader and more complex than many people realize. The organization that I volunteered with is the Caldwell County Homeless Coalition, or CCHC. CCHC is a nonprofit coalition based in Lockhart, Texas, that focuses on assisting individuals and families experiencing homelessness throughout the county. The organization was established in 2024 and finalized as a private nonprofit 501c the same year. Their first main location was officially opened in July of 2025. One of the first major projects completed by the coalition was the point in time or PIT count. The PIT count is a federally required count that takes place annually across the United States. It is usually during the last 10 days of January and is coordinated through HUD. The purpose of the PIT count is to identify how many individuals or families are experiencing homelessness on a single night within a specific community or county. Volunteers and outreach workers go into the community to locate and survey individuals who may be staying in shelters, vehicles, abandoned buildings, campsites, hotels, or other unsheltered locations. For rural communities like Caldwell County, the PIT count is especially important because homelessness is often hidden or underreported. The information gathered through this count directly affects funding opportunities, resource allocation, grant eligibility, and future homelessness programs. By completing their first PIT count in 2024, CCHC began establishing documented evidence of homelessness within the county and advocating for increased support and services within the community. CCHC's overall mission is to provide direct services and support to the people experiencing homelessness within Caldwell County. Their goals include helping provide shelter and housing opportunities, connecting clients with mental health support and food assistance, educating the community about homelessness, and improving awareness of homelessness within rural communities. The coalition also places a strong emphasis on identifying and counting homeless children, students, and adults so that additional resources and funding can eventually become available in the area. I was both impressed and surprised to learn that the coalition provides a wide variety of services despite operating in a small rural county with limited resources. Some of these services provided include temporary housing support through shelters or partnered hotels, transportation assistance to help clients get to appointments or other resources, medical assistance through partnerships with healthcare providers, and job placement support such as resume building, interview preparation, hygiene assistance, and clothing support. The organization also provides counseling and emotional support through partnerships with licensed professional counselors and faith-based organizations. In addition, they assist with dental care, food insecurity, and applications for federal programs such as SNAP, WIC, and Social Security. The population served by the coalition is considered an at-risk population because individuals experiencing homelessness face higher levels of physical, emotional, social, and economic hardship. Many people experiencing homelessness are also exposed to violence, trauma, untreated health conditions, and social isolation. Unfortunately, there's a strong stigma that surrounds homelessness as well. Many people, when you hear the word homeless or unhoused individual, images of those sleeping on the streets or panhandling come to mind. Those experiencing homelessness are unfairly judged, stereotyped, and often dehumanized. This stigma can create barriers to employment and housing. National statistics show how serious this issue has become. In 2024-2025, an estimated 771,480 people experienced homelessness in the United States during the PIT count. This represents an 18% increase over the previous year. In Texas specifically, approximately 33% of youth who aged out of the foster care experienced homelessness by the age of 21, which is higher than the national average. CCHC works to address several major social problems within the community. First major issue is homelessness itself. Many individuals and families in Caldwell County struggle with unstable housing, eviction, or even unsafe living conditions. In rural communities like this, homelessness is often less visible than in larger cities, and this makes the issue easier for communities to overlook, even though there is a need that is still very real. Other major social problems are poverty and economic instability. Many people experiencing homelessness are living paycheck to paycheck, and may already be struggling with low wages, rising rent costs, medical bills, and unreliable transportation. In a single emergency, such as losing a job, a medical crisis, or even an unexpected expense, can quickly push someone into homelessness. Rural areas also tend to have fewer employment opportunities, fewer affordable housing options, and there is often a complete lack of public transportation. Mental health and substance use challenges are also a significant concern. Many of these individuals are struggling with depression, trauma, addiction, or untreated mental illnesses. In many cases, these challenges existed before homelessness, while in other situations, homelessness itself contributed to the worsening of their mental health. Access to treatment in rural areas can be very limited because of shortages in mental health providers and in inpatient services. Social isolation and stigma are additional problems addressed by CCHC. People experiencing homelessness are often judged unfairly or blamed for their circumstances. Many individuals reported feeling invisible, unwanted, and even dehumanized by society. The stigma can create many barriers, and the coalition is working to educate the community and encourage a more compassionate and informed perspective. Lastly, the coalition focuses heavily on supporting vulnerable populations. These populations include veterans, youth, families with children, older adults, survivors of domestic violence, individuals with disabilities, and formerly incarcerated individuals. These groups often face additional barriers that place them at a higher risk for homelessness and make it more difficult to regain stability. One area that I found especially interesting was learning about the organization's funding. Smaller grants make up only 17.58% of the organization's funding, while over 82% comes from private donations or fundraising efforts. Currently, the organization receives no direct government funding due to limitations associated with operating in small rural demographic areas and because of the organization's size and newness. This really demonstrated to me how difficult it can be for rural nonprofit organizations to sustain services while trying to meet the growing community needs. Because homelessness is a complex issue, CCHC relies heavily on community partnerships and collaboration with other organizations. Some of their major partnerships include Texas Homeless Network, which coordinates homeless services throughout Texas, the Hayes Caldwell Women's Center, Community Action Center of Central Texas, Caldwell County Food Pantry, local victim services, healthcare providers, veteran services, local school districts, churches, and faith-based organizations. These partnerships are essential because no single organization can fully address homelessness alone. During my volunteer experience, I participated in several different activities. I assisted with the PIT count at the beginning of the semester. I also conducted survey interviews with individuals applying for assistance, distributed essential resources, and supported clients through case management activities. I also assisted with applying for some federal program applications. Behind the scenes operations was critical. Opportunities to work with community outreach programs and collaborate among partner agencies as well. One of the biggest gaps I identified within the organization was funding. Because the coalition relies heavily on donations and small grants, it can be difficult to expand services or hire additional staff. Another major gap is the limited availability to individualized case management. The organization currently operates with only one grant-paid staff member, while the remainder of the team is volunteer-based only. There is also limited availability of emergency shelters in the area. The coalition currently operates a small bridge home shelter that can only house about 3 individuals or small families at a time. Beyond that, the organization relies on local hotels for temporary placement, which increases both the financial strain and staffing demands. The most memorable experience I had while volunteering involved working with a formerly incarcerated individual who had lost their home after an altercation and was living in a severely damaged RV. The coalition worked to repair the RV, making it weatherproof and safe, and later they had to help to relocate this individual again after the landlord repeatedly increased his rent payment in order to support their drug habit. Thankfully, the individual has since been safely housed. This experience stood out to me because it shows how homelessness is often tied to other systemic issues or personal challenges rather than one simple issue. The most significant lesson that I learned from volunteering with CCHC is that homelessness is much more than simply a lack of housing. Before volunteering and taking this course, I mainly viewed homelessness as a financial issue. However, this experience has helped me to understand that homelessness is connected to many other factors that are often outside of a person's control. Many of us are walking a fine line between stability and instability. This experience strengthened my understanding of social work values and advocacy for vulnerable populations. I truly enjoyed the experience and have committed to continuing with the organization as both a community partner as well as a volunteer when needed. Thank you for listening, and I hope y'all have a great summer.